You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph, Resolving Conflicts, Part 2. We're looking at some areas that need to be thought about before people even go into conflict resolution. The first one is to realize that when one person has a problem, then both do. I've seen some situations where one spouse, for example, would say, "It's not my problem, it's their problem." And so they refuse to engage in the resolving conflict process because of that. So it's very important to realize that when one person is upset or hurt, or there is real issues of grievance, that both people or both parties, if it's an organisation, become involved. This is because any relationship or church or business or group of people can suffer when there is that hurt or grievance, even if the issue seems to lie with one side of the situation. So the person who considers that they're not to blame or involved needs to engage for two reasons. One is that they may be able to greatly assist the aggrieved and help them through their own personal process. And secondly, they may discover blind spots. That's areas they just can't see that are contributing to the conflict. And if a person does indeed care for the other person, or one group thinks greatly of the other group, then it's a great idea to be involved in the resolving conflict process. The second factor is to ensure that anger has dissipated before any attempt to resolve a conflict. We need to wait for calm waters. King Solomon once said that there is a right time for everything under the sun. My suggestion is to take time out. Try not to resolve a conflict too quickly. But of course, the Bible does say, and there's a song about this, don't let the sun go down on your anger, which means don't hang on to the grievance and the anger and the emotion for a long, long time. And you could say, perhaps with a husband and wife, try and resolve it within 24 hours if you can. Don't carry it on for days and days. The third step is to have a no hostility policy. That's an agreement to leave all hostility out of the resolving conflict process. It's a prior agreement, and also the agreement would include that if things get hostile, then time out is taken. Then there cannot be a continuation of the process. It's helpful to adopt the right language. Often people will accuse the other person, will use the you always, you language. It's better to try and take that out of it and replace it with I feel this. A very small minor example would be the top of the toothpaste tube. You could say, "You are always doing that. You always leave the top off and I have to clean up the mess." Another way of saying that is, when I see the top not on the toothpaste tube, I feel a bit let down because it's something that we've discussed in the past. It's a great example. Proverbs 15:18 says, "A hot-tempered man or woman stirs up dissension, but a patient man calms a quarrel," which means that you determine beforehand to replace hostility with peacefulness and calmness and the ability to listen. God bless you.